Everyone in that luxury restaurant froze. The billionaire's voice echoed across the hall, cold, commanding, used to power. But then, a man in a cheap jacket, holding his little daughter's hand, looked straight into her eyes and said calmly, "Ma'am, sit down." You could hear a pin drop after that. No one in that room knew that this moment, that single sentence, would change both their lives forever. A name that echoed through the glass towers of the city like thunder. She was the youngest billionaire CEO in the tech industry, ruthless, brilliant, and feared. People called her the Ice Queen not because she was cruel, but because she was untouchable. Her words were law. Her company, Hailtech, was an empire built from dust, and anyone who dared cross her was swiftly erased from the boardroom, or worse, from the industry. On a crisp autumn morning, Miranda entered the Glass Garden, an exclusive restaurant reserved for the city's elite. The staff stood in line, heads bowed. No one spoke. No one looked her in the eye. She liked it that way, but what people didn't know, what she hid behind her diamond confidence, was that Miranda Hale was lonely. Her success had cost her everything. Her family had stopped talking to her. Her friends had become employees. And her nights were spent in silence, sipping wine in an empty penthouse filled with awards, but not a single laugh that day. She had come to the restaurant for a private investor meeting, one that would decide the future of her company. She demanded perfection. No noise, no mistakes, no interruptions. At that same moment, across town, a single dad named Ethan Carter was struggling to get his daughter, Lily, ready for the day. Ethan was an ex-carpenter, now working as a delivery driver after losing his workshop in a fire 2 years ago. His wife had passed away from cancer shortly after Lily was born, and since then, his life had revolved around that little girl, a girl with big brown eyes and a heart too kind for the world. They didn't have much. Ethan's shoes were worn, his coat had patches, but he carried something most people in suits didn't: dignity. That day, Lily begged him for one thing. "Daddy, can we go somewhere nice for lunch? Like a fancy place? Just once?" Ethan smiled, even though his wallet trembled in his pocket. "Sure, sweetheart. Just this once." And that's how the two of them, a humble single dad and his bright-eyed daughter, walked into the Glass Garden, unaware that they were about to sit in the middle of the most powerful woman's storm. The hostess hesitated. The restaurant was fully booked, mostly by Hailtech executives. But seeing Lily's innocent face, she quietly slipped them into a small corner table. "Just for a few minutes," she whispered. They sat. Lily giggled, looking around at the crystal chandeliers and piano music. "Daddy, it's so pretty here." Ethan smiled, pretending to be comfortable. He ordered one meal to share, a small bowl of soup and a sandwich. They couldn't afford more. But to Lily, it was a feast. Then chaos. Miranda Hale walked in and the room fell silent instantly. Everyone stood. The waiters froze mid-step. Miranda's heels clicked on the marble like the sound of authority itself, and then she saw it, the table where Ethan and Lily were sitting. Her private table, her brow furrowed. "Who allowed them to sit there?" she demanded, her voice cold as steel. The hostess paled, stammering, I'm sorry, Ms. Hale, they'd moved them," Miranda snapped. "Now." The restaurant went dead quiet. Ethan looked up slowly, his hand on Lily's. She looked confused. "Daddy, did we do something wrong?" she whispered. He swallowed hard. "No, sweetheart. We didn't." The hostess approached timidly, apologizing under her breath. "Sir, ma'am. I'm sorry, but this table is reserved for—" "I can see that," Ethan said softly, standing up. "We'll move." "It's okay." But Lily tugged his sleeve. "Daddy, I'm hungry." And then something inside him cracked, not out of pride, but out of principle. Miranda was standing right there, arms crossed, watching them like they were beneath her. That's when Ethan turned to her and said, calm but firm, "Ma'am, sit down." The air turned electric. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Ever. Miranda blinked. "Excuse me?" He looked straight into her eyes. "You've got more money than all of us combined, but right now you're being rude. My daughter didn't take your chair out of disrespect. She just wanted to eat with her dad. Maybe you've forgotten what that's like." You could hear hearts stop. Even Lily looked up, wide-eyed. For the first time in years, Miranda Hale, the billionaire who commanded boardrooms, had no words. Miranda didn't move. Her hand tightened on her purse. Her body screamed to walk away. But something about that man's voice made her stop, and before she could think, she sat down right there, across from Ethan and Lily. The restaurant gasped. Lily's face lit up. Hi. I'm Lily. You're really pretty. Miranda froze, then forced a small smile. Thank you. For the next few minutes, no one spoke. Ethan kept his eyes down. Miranda, for the first time in years, didn't know what to say. She wasn't used to being normal. Finally, she asked, "You spoke to me like that. You're not afraid?" Ethan smiled faintly. Fear isn't respect, ma'am. You've got a room full of people who fear you, but not one who respects you enough to tell you when you're wrong. The words hit harder than she expected. Lily, cheerful as ever, pushed the last bite of her sandwich toward Miranda. You can have this if you're hungry, she said innocently. Miranda felt something break inside her. For years she had eaten alone in restaurants far grander than this, yet she had never felt full of that day. A billionaire learned humility from a man who had nothing, and warmth from a child who had everything that truly mattered. Over the next few weeks, something changed. Miranda invited Ethan and Lily to her office. She told her staff, "This man will help us rebuild our new community program." She hired him not out of pity, but out of admiration. Ethan's ideas, honesty, and heart changed her company from the inside out. Months later, at a public event, Miranda was asked about the turning point of her life. She smiled and said, "The day a man told me to sit down. That day, I finally learned how to stand tall." True power doesn't come from money, status, or fear. It comes from humility, courage, and the kindness to treat every soul as equal, because sometimes, the poorest man in the room has the richest heart.